I support Israel, and I don't support any dictators that call out for America's destruction, such as Iran. I know you support Iran. I know you support North Korea. I know you support all these countries that call
Bro, you're
out
like
for.
AI Hasbara Ben Shapiro talking point bot. Like, come on, let's get real here. What are we doing?
I'm not a bot. I'm not. I'm just. I just
You're
know these.
you're
Do you
you're
not support
definitely
them?
you're definitely
But
NPC.
you do support them. I'm not lying.
Yeah, but that's
You
not an
do.
argument. Should we do some debates? One's in the chat if you want some TikTok live debates.
What's going on, Jackson?
What's up? How's it going?
Great.
Are you here to debate?
So
This is a debate stream.
yes, I'm a Zionist. I love Israel.
All right, so what do you want to talk about?
Obviously, you have a complete hatred towards Israel, and you have hatred towards the government. You have hatred towards the people of that create the government. But essentially, Israel is the biggest democratic country in the Middle East that helps protect against protects a lot of people around the world. I mean, if you look at the Ethiopian Jews that were sent over to Israel to be
Bro,
protected
you're talking
against.
to an American. You're not talking to an Ethiopian.
Okay, I mean, there is obviously both sides of the story. America and Israel, right? Amazing allies. They do a lot for each other.
Do they?
Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump. Not only do Israel buys a lot of weapons from America, right? Not only do Israel share intel on all of its enemies potentially that comes against America.
Do they
Not
share,
only
do they share the intel when they put listening devices, electronic listening devices on Trump's Secret Service motorcade?
Okay, can you show me a source for that, please?
Yeah, Gray Zone article,
you pull it up?
October 13th. You can find it on their website. It was an inside source from the Trump administration came out and said that.
The bottom line is your reputation across the world is a conspiracist, a person that makes up stuff. You're known around the world that you just make up 70% of what comes out of your mouth. It's not even legitimate. I mean, there's rumors that you probably get funding from Qatar and you get funding from Russia and you get funding from wherever it is to preach the narrative that comes out of your mouth. But it's not actually genuine. It's you're getting paid to do this on behalf of the enemies of America. This is what's the facts are around the world about you. So you can come out here on TikTok. I don't know who pays you, who sends you money to do this, but we know that you're not America's friend, and you don't want actually to preach America's greatness. You're against America, the government. You're against America's allies, and you prop up North Korea, Iran,
Yeah,
Russia,
North Korea's based.
China. Right. And because you might be paid, someone's paying you. I don't know who Qatar is. I don't know who is, sending you money to do this, to go online and fund your life, right? Because someone's paying you, but you don't want to kind of disclose who's paying you to do this. But unlike you, Zionists love America.
Look,
Zionists support
I have
America.
a lot of people paying me, and that's just the truth. And
there it is. Who?
I don't. You want me to say?
That's what who means. It means I wanted to disclose.
Okay, I'll say who's paying me. It's all of my super chatters watching on YouTube right now, and they're about to prove it. So you guys, show him who's paying me, and let's see it in the chat.
Does Russia? Wait. Does Russia or Qatar or China or any of them pay you?
No, I think they probably have bigger concerns and bigger things on their plate. Not to mention, of course, that Qatar backed the overthrow of Assad in Syria, and I vehemently defended Assad, so I think that'd be a little bit crazy. But I think these countries.
Oh, so you defended Assad? Wait, you defend Assad when he actually used biological weapons potentially on his people? That's what you back up? A dictator?
Yeah, you know what? You're totally right, bro. You're totally right. Israel's done nothing wrong, and Assad was like the real bad guy.
I love how you like projecting towards Israel. You're backing up Assad, a dictator that has used biological weapons on its own people. That's who you back up? That's how you stand with? Pretty sick.
Oh wait, you guys, my donors are coming in. My donors. I don't want you to see my donors. They're donating. I'm sorry, I tried to hide it, but they're donating.
No.
Anyways,
we know you.
OPCW, listen. Do you know what the OPCW is?
What is that?
The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. I mean, I figured you'd know since you were making up these insane claims about Assad in Syria.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean,
Right.
like,
So
do you
Assad,
know who actually made the claims about Assad in Syria?
do I know who made the claims against
Yes.
Assad? I mean, I'm pretty sure America itself about him using chemical weapons on its own people.
Yeah, but I'm saying, do you know who actually wrote the memo stating that he used those weapons?
So unlike you, Hinkle, I don't lie. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you I don't know. Unlike you, I don't lie. When I don't know something, I don't claim that I do or provide fake things about things. So I don't lie. So you can go ahead and explain yourself.
You just claimed that that was happening, so I figured you'd know who it was. During the Trump administration. It was Mike Pompeo, director of the CIA. Now, do you know what types of weapons he claimed they use?
What types of biological weapons do
Yeah.
you use? No, I mean it would. I looked it up. I think like last year. I don't know exactly. I can look it up again for you.
So you're saying that a man used these sorts of outlawed weapons against his own people, but you don't know who made the claim and you don't know what weapons were used?
I believe it was sarin nerve agent. I believe it was chlorine gas, which was a choking agent. I believe it was sulfur mustard, which was a blister agent. And I believe an agent 15. No, I mean, there was other agents used. I don't know exactly, but yeah, there was multiple different agents used on it. So
Well, I'm glad that you found a list of chemical weapons agents to read off before me. But in the official U.S. State Department transcript, where they made these allegations in the Trump administration, they used the claim of chlorine. And sarin was also discussed. That is true as well. Sarin was discussed. But it turns out when the OPCW investigators who actually went into Douma, Syria to identify these potential agents, none of them existed. They weren't there. There were no trace of the agents. So,
can you show me a source for that?
yes. In June 2018, expert NATO toxicologist ruled out chlorine gas as the cause of symptoms and deaths in Douma. One even raised the possibility that the incident was staged. So this is from NATO toxicologists.
What's the website called? What's the website?
This is from the NATO toxicology report on Douma. OPCW. So you have to understand.
Do you have a website for this?
So this is from the OPCW report. The OPCW team gathered after the meeting and reviewed salient points discussed. It was agreed among all present that the key takeaway message from the meeting was that the symptoms observed were inconsistent with exposure to chlorine, and no other obvious candidate chemical causing the symptoms could have been identified. With respect to the consistency of the observed and reported symptoms of alleged victims with possible exposure to chlorine gas or similar, the experts were conclusive in their statements that there was no correlation between symptoms and chlorine exposure. In particular, they stated that the onset of excessive frothing as a result of pulmonary edema observed in photos reported by witnesses would not occur in the short time period between the reported occurrence of the alleged incident and the time that videos were recorded, approximately 3 to 4 hours. The experts were also of the opinion it was highly unlikely that victims would have gathered in piles at the center of the respective apartments at such a short distance from escape from any toxic chlorine gas to cleaner air.
So you claim that the Gouda chemical attack, okay,
Bro,
2013.
you don't even know the city that we're talking about right now.
No, I'm not talking about that specific attack. I'm talking about in general.
Well, what
The
specific
attacks that
attack? What specific attack prompted U.S. airstrikes on Syria in coordination with? Do you know the other countries that joined in on the U.S. airstrikes on Syria?
I think it was the UK.
And
I don't know. I think it was. I don't know about the UK. I think it was. I don't even know. Besides UK and USA,
France as well.
Jordan, was it? I don't know. Jordan. I don't even know.
Now, I just said the name of the city where this took place. It was France. Jordan didn't airstrike Syria. I just said the name of the city where the alleged attack took place that prompted these strikes. But could you tell me what the name of the city is?
The name of the city that
Yeah.
you just claimed.
No, it's the name of the city where the alleged attack took place that prompted the U.S. airstrikes. Because Ivanka and Trump and Jared Kushner freaked out so much, so they demanded that Trump airstrike Syria.
I don't know the city.
You don't know the city, but you said that Assad committed this horrific atrocity there?
I'm talking about the Gouda chemical attack.
Oh, you're talking about Ghouta. So that's a completely different city.
Right, I know it's a different city.
Yeah, but you don't know because you don't know the name of the city that I'm talking about, which is the main one.
It wasn't Gouda. It wasn't Gouda, right?
Well, yeah, we've established that because I asked you which city it was and you couldn't name it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know the actual city. I don't know every single attack that happened, but I do know.
Well, I
based
just
on
feel like
investigation that I looked into. No, I'm looking at the investigations.
I don't think I really don't think you have. I don't think you know the name of the city. I don't think you knew which chemical agents were alleged to have even been used by Mike Pompeo. I don't think you know even how many people were alleged to have been unalive there. I don't think you know much about anything.
Listen, the bottom line is that I support America. I support Israel, and I don't support any dictators that call out for America's destruction, such as Iran. I know you support Iran. I know you support North Korea. I know you support all these countries that call out.
Bro, you're like AI Hasbara Ben Shapiro talking point bot. Like, come on, let's get real here. What are we doing?
I'm not a bot. I'm not. I just know these. Do you not support them?
You're definitely NPC.
But you do support them. I'm not lying.
Yeah, but that's not an argument.
What do you mean? The argument is that you support America's enemies.
The argument is that I support the sovereignty of every country on earth, and I don't think that America has sovereignty. I think America is in the hands of Wall Street finance capitalists, transnational capitalists. I don't think America is a sovereign country right now, and I hope it does become one. I hope that we begin.
Is America on stolen lands?
Is America on stolen lands?
Yeah. Is America stolen? Like some of the leftist propagandists that's out there saying that America is a stolen land. I mean, do you support it? I mean, obviously, you don't support America. You don't think America is legit. You support its enemies. Is America on stolen lands? Do you? I mean, what? You don't support America's government. What do you support about America? Like,
I support America. I just don't want America to be doing wars all across the world, and I want us to be doing effectively what China's doing. I mean, just like rapid industrialization and development without waging war all across the world. Maybe we can try to win good relations with countries across the world via trade and good business relations rather than toppling governments and overthrowing leaders and kidnapping them in some cases. I just think that's like a better general approach. That's really all. I mean, my ancestors sailed to America on the Mayflower. They were the religious leaders on the Mayflower, and they fought in the American Revolution, fought in the Civil War, fought in the War of 1812, fought in World War II. So, I mean, I do want the best for America. I just think it's kind of silly what America's doing.
Okay, but you don't call out Russia. You don't call out China, right? I mean, there's a war right now between Russia and Ukraine. Who do you support?
Who do I
Russia, right?
Who do I support?
Russia.
Of course.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I mean, do you know anything about that?
What about Maduro?
Oh, do you understand? But yeah, you're literally glitching out like the NPC bot you are. What about the conflict with Russia do you know about?
What?
What do you know about the conflict with Russia? What do you know about it?
I mean, the Ukraine war and Russia war, right? I mean, there's obviously fighting over a certain piece of land, and Ukraine is.
What's that piece of land called?
I mean, the Crimea, I believe.
No, but good try. What else could it have been called?
I know you're against them joining NATO. That's.
I'm against Russia joining or Ukraine joining NATO. Is that what you're saying?
I know you're against them joining NATO.
That's a good start. That's a good start.
I mean, I know you're against them joining NATO. I know you don't like that. I know you want Russia essentially to do whatever they want, and you never call them out for anything. You call out America, but you don't call out Russia for going and starting a war on Ukraine and basically just doing whatever they want. That's why you're a hypocrite. Because you claim that Israel is essentially taking over land or whatever, even though that this is a war and
Okay, just one last question about Ukraine, then we can talk about Israel, Iran. We can talk about more hot topics. But do you know when the first person was unalived in the conflict in Ukraine and who unalived that person?
The first person, Ukraine,
like the year.
Russian war.
What year did the first unaliving in the conflict take place in? What year?
2014, I believe.
Correct. And who carried out that attack?
I mean, the initial. I mean, I believe actually, according to what I'm reading, is Sarai Kukhrin was a warrant officer and was killed during the illegal annexation of Crimea by Russians. What do you mean? In 2014.
Do you have ChatGPT open on your phone or something? You must. Like, what you said I'm reading. What are you reading?
What do you mean I'm looking?
You just said I'm reading, and you named some random. Okay, I'll admit I'm even like an expert on this stuff. I have no idea who you just named. You definitely don't know who that is. So what are you reading off of?
I'm on Google looking up the information.
Okay.
Is that okay? Am I allowed to do that?
So who is the first person?
No?
Who is the first person?
Sarai Kukhrin.
And okay, I have no idea who that is. Where were they unalived?
I guess it started off, it was a warrant officer. It was killed by Russian forces during the annexation of Crimea in 2014. That's how it started. I know you're trying to say that the Ukrainians.
That's how it started. But what happened before Crimea was taken?
What happened? Tell me.
No big events in 2014. Ring a bell? You think that Russia just like decided to take Crimea one day out of nowhere?
No, I mean, there's definitely events that happened before that.
So, do you know that someone was unalived before that in 2014?
Okay, who was that?
It was about 6,000 to 8,000 people in the Maidan riots, which were unalived by Ukrainian government-sponsored, a faction of the Ukrainian government-sponsored snipers that were working with Georgian snipers. These people were unalived in a violent coup against the Ukrainian government, which resulted in the illegal impeachment of the president, Yanukovych. They were 10 votes shy of impeaching him, but he was forced to flee the country because there were people trying to take his life. There was helicopters and snipers firing down upon his motorcade as it left. He wasn't in the motorcade. He escaped through another route. But that's what set this whole thing off. Now, you mentioned Crimea. Did Russia just decide to take Crimea one day, or what happened there? How did they just take it? That sounds crazy. Does Google Gemini tell you how that happened?
You're asking me how did it just take over Ukraine? That's your question?
Crimea. Like, did they just go in and take it, or did something happen before that?
It was a military invasion.
What happened? What happened was there was a referendum. 86% of the people decided to join Russia. Okay. I think it's time to move on to the next individual that we invite on to debate. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.